All right, so Lucky, I'm gonna make this part two. Um, where was I? Man, damn Satan, man! Telling you. So from Revelations 12, I'll come back to that one and let me read it. Second Ezra, chapter 13. All right, and actually, let me skip down. I'll just go ahead and read from verse 1. It says, and it came to pass 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and he turned his countenance to look. All the things trembled that were seen under him. All right, and what is that? The book of Isaiah. Was it 44? I don't need to get it. But, the world is going to tremble, man. At the sight of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Especially because of the nuclear missiles, all right, which are 200,000 according to Revelations, all right, which is 200 million, coming for America, coming for the destruction of this place, and like it says in Isaiah, the earth is going to reel to and fro like a drunkard, man, because this place is going to be beat to powder, and I'm talking about this kingdom. It says, and I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Now, who is that? All right, who is that? That's Yahweh Shai, man, when he comes back. Like I said, in the same way that he left, he's coming back. Let's see. That was in Matthew. Where was it at? Slovakia. Let's see. Slovakia. Bear with me. This same. Type in the name, even though that's not his actual name. This is Matthew 16, and I'm going to start off at 27. It says, for the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels. You see? So when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's coming back with the glory of the angels, man. So he's coming back with all those angels. And then he shall reward every man according to his works. All right? So he's going to reward the righteous righteously, and the wicked, he's going to reward them with destruction. All right? With judgment. You see? So let me read this one again. 2nd Ezra 13 and 3. And I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And he turned his countenance to look, and all things trembled that were under him. All right? So it says, Matthew 16 and 27, for the Son of Man shall come in his glory, or in the glory of his Father, with his angels. And then he shall reward every man according to his works. Verse 28, verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. You see? So when Yahweh Bashim Yahushai comes back, he's coming back to judge, man. And like we read in Isaiah 47 or 37, it said, I will not meet thee as a man. All right? So he's not coming back, to greet you and shake your hand. All right? He's coming back to play out judgment, man. You see? So in 2nd Ezra 13 and 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. All right, so it's talking about burning. All right, a destruction, a tip, Salakia, what is that word I'm looking for? For a typical, a specific type of destruction. All right, specific. That's what I'm looking for. It's a specific type of destruction. It's not just some fire you can just kindle by throwing, fuel and a little flame or a little spark. All right, it's talking about a concentrated power. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. All right, so see, it's talking about men. It's not talking about angels that rebelled against the Most High with Lucifer their leader. It doesn't say that. 2 Ezra 13:5 clarifies that it's talking about a man. All right, and like we read in Psalms 58, that poison, that serpent, is talking about a man that speaks blasphemous. All right, that's that poison that he injects into people's minds. You see? So it says, there was gathered together a multitude of men. All right, so an army. All right, an army of different nations out of number from the four winds of heaven. That means what? From the whole earth. All right, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. All right, to subdue Yahawashi. And the sea can also be seen as the skies. All right, the skies can also be seen as the sea or as water. All right, the sea can also be nations, in the midst of nations, but it's talking about when Yahawashi cracks them clouds, man, when he comes back. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. All right, and that great mountain is a UFO, man. But I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, and I could not. All right, so he couldn't see where this big old hill, this mountain, was actually placed at, because it was up in the air. It was a UFO, man. You see? So that war in heaven, all right, it hasn't happened yet. There hasn't been salvation yet. We're not supposed to walk ourselves over there to Israel. All right, Yahawashi is going to do that. You see? So it says, verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet durst fight. You see? So that fight is going to go down, man. And that fight is the multitude of men versus the multitude of the Most High. All right, coming back in the name of righteousness, man. You see? So that's not something that you should be playing with. That's not something you should lightly take. Being in this truth is not something that's light. Being in this truth is not something that you can just come in and you just have little Israelite parties and you're good, man. There's a bunch of different things that come in this package, man. And you have brothers that have been doing this for 10 years plus, all right, that can tell you multiple stories of different things that they had to go through. So mixing doctrines, all right, that's something you shouldn't be doing, because you have doctrines out there that teach that the mark of the beast is not the RFID chip, which is the doctrine that is going off, man. Because the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. Now, the image of the beast is something different. The image is something completely different, which the image can actually still be, the mark of the beast, but the image goes into something else, But the mark of the beast, the mark, charagma, is talking about the RFID chip, And not all Israel is going to be saved, which is something that IUIC teaches, These other camps, man, they teach different doctrines. They don't believe in the scriptures, because Great Millstone teaches the scriptures and they don't believe in what Great Millstone is saying. All right. So seeing this destruction, this war that is coming, going to Revelations 12. And verse 7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. All right, that word dragon there means dracon. All right. And when you go to, let me see if I can go to it. Dracon. All right. A dragon, a great serpent, a name for Satan. All right. But when you go to draconian laws, all right, let me see, dracon. They don't have it here anymore. Let me see, dracon. Let me go here. And I'll go draconian laws. The draconian constitution, or Dracos, all right, Draco code was a written law code created by Draco near the end of the 7th century BC in response to unjust interpretation and modification of oral law by Athenian aristocrats. All right, so that that dracon, what he's going to bring forth is draconian laws. All right, that dragon, that serpent, is going to bring forth a poison. Is basically what it's saying. It says probably from an alternate of draconian or dracomia, a fabulous kind of serpent, perhaps as opposed to fascinate. All right, let's look up that word fascinate. Draw irresistibly the attention and interests of someone. All right, and guess who's doing that? Guess who's doing that? Esau Edom. He's drawing the interest of the wicked. All right, you can come over here. You can get married with the same sex. All right, you can go into another man's woman, and then you have people that practice that as a religion. All right, it's all kinds of wickedness here in the United States, man. This is Babylon the Great. So to fascinate, he's fascinating, all right, captivating the minds of the people, all right, to draw in closer to this place, man. And that's why a lot of people can't leave this world for the truth, all right, because they're so captivated by the way that this society works, So when this dragon, all right, is speaking, he's speaking of blasphemies, all right. Those blasphemies that he's speaking are his laws, all right. He doesn't allow you to keep the Sabbath. Why? Because you're constantly having to work, pay your bills, go in debt, So when Michael and his angels fight against this dragon, it's going to be for our salvation, man. So it says, and the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. All right. Now, where do we see that? I thought it was verse 10. This is Obadiah 1 and 9. And thy mighty men, O Taman, shall be dismayed, to the end of every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. You see, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You see? So Esau Edom is going to be cut off forever, man. And that cut off forever goes into, a lot of prophecies that are going to happen. All right. And it goes into the one that I was bringing out, which was Revelations 12 and 7. So when in verse 8 it says, and prevailed not, neither was there place found any more in heaven. All right, it's talking about Esau, Edom being cut off forever. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the world, all right, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out of the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. All right, so there's not going to be any place for Esau, Edom anymore. You know, he's going straight into slavery, according to Revelations 13. And let me start off at verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And according to Exodus chapter 19 and 6, all right, the saints, all right, are the Israelites. You see, the elect. You know, so we know that Esau, Edom is going to go down. You know, we already know. And the one that I was talking about was in verse 11 earlier. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. You see? So he looks like a lamb, all right? He's docile, you know? He wants to act like he's here for you. But he has those 2 horns, man, which represent the Republican and the Democrats. And he speaks like a dragon, all right? That means blasphemies, all right? Speaks like a dragon. He brings forth those draconian laws, you know, those harsh laws. That's what it really represents. I don't know why it didn't let me pull it up in the dictionary. You know, I've done it plenty of times. You see? I guess Esau took it out finally. You know? But draconian law, that's what it really means. Let me see. It says down here, it says the draconian laws were most noteworthy for their harshness. They were said to be written in blood rather than ink. All right, and that's how Esau Edom is, man. He writes his stuff in blood. All right. If you come up against his laws, you're gonna be put to death. All right, but if you go against the laws of the Most High, you're perfectly fine. You go up against the Sabbath, which is on the new moon. All right, that's your first Sabbath. And then you have your other Sabbath 7 days after. You know, you're perfectly fine. Nothing happens to you. You know, according to the law of Esau. If you go into another woman that has already been taken, nothing happens to you, man. You know, if that woman wants you and you want her, you go and do what you do. What wicked people do, and everything is fine, you know? You want to be a lesbian, you want to be a gay, everything is good. That's how Esau Edom has it, man. You know? Everything has been turned upside down. That's also part of the prophecies, you know? We would have babes ruling over us, man. Base men. You see? It says, 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. All right, so that dragon, like we read in Ezra 13, is talking about these men. All right, the elite, Esau, Edom. You know, so let me jump down to verse, I think it was 20. Actually, let me just jump down to verse 41. It says, but they took this counsel, 2nd Ezra 13 and 41, but they took this counsel among themselves. Oh, Salakia, that's talking about the 10 tribes. Verse 30, let me see, verse 31. All right, 2nd Ezra 13 and 31. And one shall undertake to fight against the other, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I show thee before, and then shall my son be declared. Now, who's the son of the Most High? Yahushai. All right. Proverbs chapter 30. What is the name of the Father and the Son, if thou canst tell? All right. Whom thou sawest as a man ascending. All right. And the same Yahushai which you see going up into the heavens. All right, in the same like manner will he come back. You know, it says, and when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. All right, and that's talking about World War III. It says, an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. And he shall stand up on the top of Mount Sion, and Sion shall come, and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. All right, and that hill graven without hands is talking about us, man. You know, those chariots. All right, all of that goes into Israel being delivered. You know, and that temple being built without hands. All right, it's talking mainly about the elect. All right, that hill, going up into the chariots. It says, and this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. All right, and that tempest, as it goes in, that tempest is talking about the laser beams that are going to shoot out of the UFOs, the so-called UFOs. All right, it says, and they shall lay before them their evil thoughts and their torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are all unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without their labor by the law, which is like unto me. You see? And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salamaster the king of Assyria led away captive, and carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. All right, and that other land is talking about where they served their captivity. But then after that, they went into the Americas, So that tempest is going to come back, or that tempest is going to come to destroy, those so-called UFOs, the chariots of Israel are actually coming back to destroy these other heathen nations that are going to rise up against Yahweh Shem Yahushai, So that war in heaven is not talking about, some ancient some ancient war between angels and angels. All right, it tells you about different realms. All right, the realm of the Most High is coming back to fight against this realm. All right, so I hope that was edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to our apostles and our elders. Shalom.